the coca sock and close it up quick. Tomorrow night for supper we'll be having crab and grits. Do you remember? Yes, I remember, yeah. Do you remember how it used to be? Remember the old days, them good old happy days. If you remember, then come follow me. You remember when they used to have big dance in the bike all night, knocking the gong style and jamming rake and scrape until the morning light. You remember when we used to sit by the fire telling old stories? Mosquito they biting, but they ain't biting we 'cause it's too smoky. Yeah, man, you remember when Mama used to bake them bread in the rock oven? 'Cause our bread's so sweet, and she used to bake them in banana leaf. Every Saturday morning, it's the fish and potato bread. On Sunday, everyone in church shouting, "Gone to bed." Do you remember? Yes, I remember, yeah. Do you remember how it used to be? Remember the old days, them good old happy days. If you remember, then come follow me. Do you remember? Yes, I remember, yeah. Do you remember how it used to be? Remember the old days, them good old happy days. If you remember, then come follow me.
Remember when we used to go to the park and play horsey back? Now we're grown up, Jack, not proud to be black. And yes, it's a fact we used to have afros. Now I suppose we're not tipping toes or going to a restaurant and sitting in the rail. See, back then was also racism in the air. For better or worse, we will keep on moving like Gino D is in effect, and he what keeps grooving.
Remember when them contract days are daddy gone so long? But when he come back, everyone was happy 'cause he trunk was back. Mommy so glad daddy.
Tonight, delays for improvements to the country's healthcare system. We've got the latest tonight. Also, hopes for doors to open at a school 10 years later. And later, concerns continue to mount over developments on Exuma. Eyewitness News starts now. As topping news tonight, the country's healthcare sector is still facing its fair share of challenges, but some of them hopefully to be resolved soon, according to the Minister of Health and Wellness. Valencia Smith has the details in our top story tonight.
Negotiations are underway to keep Cuban healthcare workers in the country as their presence is crucial to the country's public healthcare system. This much coming from Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Dovell.
Their presence in the country is very important for the delivery of healthcare systems because as we speak, countries to the north are still recruiting our healthcare workers. We are in a survival mode and we need to recruit workers from around the world.
Dovell shared with the media that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Cuban government, and even the United States are all in discussions as it relates to the Cuban workers. It was back in June during his budget contribution when Dovell announced government's plans to scrap contracts with a Cuban recruitment agency and insisted to directly hire the doctors and the nurses already working in the Bahamas. The move came amid pressure from the U.S., where officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, labeled the Cuban medical mission as forced labor and imposed visa sanction on governments that did not support them.
Now, there's only 3 Cuban doctors that are part of our program and about 3 nurses. Most of where the Cuban professionals are in the country is in allied healthcare, x-ray techs and lab techs. They are part of a program that we're putting together to ensure that every family island have lab and diagnostics. And we are about to execute that program now that all the equipment is in the country.
While there's a shortage on manpower, the public healthcare system continues to struggle and face heavy criticism over aging infrastructure. Dovell now admits that repairs at the accident emergency over at Princess Margaret Hospital are now running 4 to 6 weeks behind. The project was launched under the Minnis administration back in 2019, but years later, the project is still ongoing.
On the update of the air conditioning system, which is presently being built abroad for shipment into the Bahamas, the contractor who is responsible for the repairs at A&E is being paid. And so it's just a matter of the installation of this air conditioning system.
And it's no secret that the country has outgrown PMH, and the need for a new hospital is more urgent than ever. Healthcare was a major campaign promise of the Davis administration. Since taking office, government has inked an agreement with the People's Republic of China to finance a new 200-bed hospital through the Chinese Exim Bank. The project was initially priced at $290 million, but after technical reviews from the Chinese engineers, that cost dropped to $267 million. Davil confirmed tonight that their agreement is now before the Office of the Attorney General for final review.
The process for the groundbreaking at the site has finished my ministry, and now it's on the second pass to the procurement department at the Ministry of Finance. Once that's done, a contract will be awarded and you will see equipment on the ground for land preparation, which is part of our agreement prior to the final signing of the document with the Chinese Exim Bank.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
While the Bahamas Educators Managerial Union, representing nearly 500 public school administrators, they say its members will continue the action until the Ministry of Education honors their agreement. Union President Stephen McPhee telling Eyewitness News on Wednesday that the union has been in talks over the past few days to address the ongoing challenges, engaging key stakeholders, including the Ministry of Education.
In an effort to have as many of these matters resolved as possible. The major concern remains the matter of staffing and outstanding promotions. We are hopeful that some 38 outstanding promotions from 2017, 5 acting out-of-turn appointments from 2023, and 3 outstanding court matters, one dating back as far as an appointment to an office from 2010, will be resolved. The membership is standing in solidarity, and we cannot allow another school term where students, teachers, and the community in which these schools are located are left deprived.
Well, as the government says, its long-awaited $267 million specialty hospital for New Providence is one step closer, with loan agreements being finalized. Renovations at PMH Accident Emergency Department have been delayed, as you heard, for another 4 to 6 weeks. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you believe that if these projects are actually completed, they will finally move the country's healthcare system forward? 69% of participants voting yes, these upgrades will make a big difference. 24% voting maybe, but only if they're properly managed and staffed, while 4% voting no, too many promises, not enough delivery. Along with these residents and their votes, they express their concern that building a new specialty hospital won't solve existing problems. They're emphasizing the need to first address issues at PMH, including staff shortages, lack of medicine, long wait times, and delayed surgeries. Calls are also being made for a national health insurance scheme to make health care more affordable. Questions also focused on whether the new hospital will have essential equipment like MRI machines and a fully equipped dialysis unit, and whether PMH's existing facilities will be upgraded. On to some other news tonight. Nearly a decade after the construction of a junior high school in the Holmes Rock area in Grand Bahama, classes will officially be open to students this year, but delay is not sitting well with residents who say, given its present condition, they find it hard to believe. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details as he joins me live in studio tonight. Linton?
Good evening, Janea. The once empty halls of Holmes Rock Junior High, built at a cost of more than $1 million, will soon come to life as students and teachers prepare to finally occupy the long-completed campus. After years of sitting unused, the school is now on track to fulfill its intended purpose. We spoke with Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell, who confirmed that teams are working diligently to ensure the campus is ready in time for the upcoming academic year.
I believe that we will be able to open in September. I can't tell you that we'll open on Monday.
The doors to the Holmes Rock Junior School in West Grand Bahama is expected to open in the coming weeks, nearly a decade after construction was completed, leaving the school to sit with zero occupancy and described by Grand Bahamians as a, quote, eyesore. Back in 2016, the then Christie administration signed 2 government contracts with Brickhouse Construction and RCL Construction, valued at some $12 million, promising a 18-month timeline for opening. However, a series of delays expanded that duration to almost 10 years. And today, government officials are on the ground in the nation's second city as stakeholders push for the opening. Well, today, a video circulating on social media shows a resident of the area sparking doubt on the opening timeline.
And this is what they say going to be open up for school. Look at it. You have 2 more weeks before school open up. But just look at the yard.
Director of Education within the Ministry of Education, Dominique McCartney-Russell, revealing that the key holdback was mostly infrastructural challenges. So what's priority this time around?
The pavilion where the students would have their lunch and I think their assemblies. We had to procure furniture.
Now, the delay of the institution has reportedly caused a massive overflow at the 8 Mile Rock High. So with hundreds of students expected to fill the Holmes Rock Junior School space, officials say they're prepared.
Address the staff, as I indicated, in terms of, looking at who we would place there or post there. The deputy director with responsibility for Grand Bahama has held meetings with including teachers, including parents. She's kept the unions up to date.
Now, Janea, residents in that viral video says they are anxiously awaiting the opening to the school doors of Holmes Rock Junior to finally lift the burden off of other institutions in the surrounding areas. For now, it's a story we are continuing to follow, but reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr., sending it back to you at the desk, Janea.
Thanks, Linton. Well, on to some other news tonight as the controversial Integra development in the Exuma Keys pushes forward. Tensions are rising. Local residents are speaking out, voicing deep concern about a project they fear could leave the island permanently scarred. Our Delano Roker on the ground in Samson Key today to get a closer look.
The descent into Samson Key is nothing short of breathtaking, pristine turquoise waters and untouched coastlines, but beneath the beauty lies a growing divide. A multi-million-dollar resort development by Integra is stirring frustrations and fear among longtime residents and environmental advocates. Tito Baldwin, who says he believes the developers are prioritizing profit over preservation.
The Exuma chain in the 365 islands, this is the crown jewel of the Bahamas. And as soon as we scar that crown jewel, it's gone forever and ever and ever. How are we going to tell them that we are going to forever change that which they've enjoyed for decades? Not only that, like when the husband and wife came out here and they got engaged, now they want to bring their kids out here. Now Bahamians want to come out here and get a couple of conch or go out crawfishing on the 1st of August. Now we can't, we will never be able to enjoy that, which has been part of the legacy of the Bahamas for many, many years.
For Baldwin and others, the issue includes safety, with the island being directly hit by strong tides that could be hazardous to ill-equipped captains. They say heavy equipment, unchecked dredging, and limited oversight are becoming the new norm in a place once defined by serenity.
Anybody know an island north here called Highburn Key? How many accidents have you heard about in Highburn Key? As soon as they turn sideways to the current, bam, right against the rocks. Imagine that on both sides of this island, and that's going to doubly impact how this whole island and how the Exuma is recognized in the yachting community. It might damage the yachting community for a very long time.
We do apologize, some technical difficulty there, but still on news from the Family Islands tonight in Andros.
Just based on
residents
the fact
are
that it's
renewing concern about 2 issues that are affecting their daily lives. Our Jose Etienne catching up with some residents while in Andros over the weekend. He joins me live in studio tonight to discuss.
Well, Janea, residents in South Andros, to be exact, are speaking out on two issues
Oh, that's the car. My bad.
plaguing them for far too long. Limited biking hours and poor connectivity. The biking service in particular has been described as a major hardship. Reduced hours and malfunctioning machines have left residents scrambling to get complete basic transactions.
Bank of the Bahamas, South Andros. After being put to a 1 day, this is to be the start of the bank. People are here. The bank isn't even open yet.
A line of residents outside the Bank of the Bahamas is a typical Wednesday. Longtime resident Susie Green says that's because BOB cut its operations down to just 4 hours, 1 day a week, a move she describes as an insult to the community.
It's frustrating because you're talking about all the corporate offices, you're talking about all the private entities that own businesses. Everybody has to go to make their deposit on that 1 day. And that's beside the persons who have their regular situation.
Green claims the bank's ATM is often out of service, making matters worse.
All it does is service you with some cash, which it doesn't do very well because 9 times out of 10, they service it on Wednesday. By Friday, it is empty and you still cannot get funds.
She's also criticizing a decision reportedly made by a bank executive that she says caused additional hassles for residents.
And she was here. She assigned everybody who applied for a new account, she put them as a Mangrove Key resident, whereas they live in South Andros proper. They should have been labeled as Kemps Bay. Even my banking account with Bank of the Bahamas says that I'm a Mangrove Key resident. I'm not a Mangrove Key resident. I'm a South Androsian. I live here and has lived here and will continue to live here.
Another resident expressing little hope that service will improve anytime soon.
It really is up to the bank because we've complained about this, We've complained about this from since it's been implemented and nothing has been done.
BTC is also under fire. Residents say they've lost faith in the company's service and have turned to Starlink for internet access.
BTC is a lost cause. IRCA was down here. They did a whole meeting. They said they were going to do an investigation and have BTC responsible for the bad service that they were giving us. They gave them a year to update the service. Nothing happened. And what happened to IRCA? We don't know.
Now, Member of Parliament for the area, Leon Lundy, sent us a response moments before news time insisting that the issue isn't being ignored. But he's also admonishing his constituents to make use of the Post Office Savings Bank, which he says has recently increased its deposit limit from $6,000 to $10,000 with an annual interest rate of 5%. But he didn't stop there. He's pleading with residents to be patient, similarly to how he says they were with the road and waterworks that he says are in progress. Janelle.
Thanks so much, our Jose Etienne joining us live in studio tonight. Well, the government is promising major improvements to air travel in Eleuthera. This as officials say work on the Governor's Harbor Airport Terminal is expected to be completed by the end of this year. Our Devontae Hanna in Eleuthera after a long day of touring those new terminals on the island. Devontae, what can you tell us?
Well, Janae, we're coming to you live from beautiful Eleuthera, where tourism officials say that arrivals are on the upswing, and those tourists are all coming for beautiful beaches like the ones behind me. And in a couple of months, they will get the chance to let their arrival be a bit easier. That's according to Works Minister and Central and South Eleuthera MP Clay Sweeting, who says that the Governor's Harbor Airport is now taking shape, and it all comes as the government is taking an aggressive push to ensure that that structural work to that airport is completed by the end of the year. Take a look at what we found out today.
We would hope to complete all of the civils and the structural works by end of December 2025, and then the other works on the runway and apron should start in January.
That demand is being driven by a steady rise in visitor arrivals and anticipated international routes, but frustrations about outdated facilities have been mounting, which makes the upgrades all the more crucial, according to Aztec Airways CEO Stuart Hanley.
I think that will help. It'll certainly make the experience more pleasurable. I mean, some of these airports really date back to World War II. They were original World War II airports. I mean, it's just a fact. That's where they came from. And, they're showing a bit of wear and tear.
Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who also toured the project alongside aviation officials, insists the upgrades will transform the experience for travelers and support economic growth. He says once completed, the new terminal will feature modern amenities, enhanced safety features, and the capacity to handle larger numbers of passengers, ensuring Eleuthera can keep pace with its growing global tourism demand.
Looking very good. The quality of work is sound. The fittings and the furnishings and the little things that our arriving guests notice really puts a special touch on this airport.
Similarly, in the north, upgrades are expected to be completed in short on the North Eleuthera International Airport.
You saw the clearing of the land going on to the adjacent area, to the existing terminal. That's the beginning of what will be coming out of the ground of a terminal building really soon. I'm delighted to see the progress that we saw there today.
And you heard it there from the DPM. Arrivals and, in fact, airports will be improved across all of the major airports here in Eleuthera. But that will expand, according to him, to all of the airports across the country, particularly in the Family Islands. He says that major upgrades are coming to islands like Berry Island, Long Island, of course, Exuma, his favorite. Of course, the government is all doing this to ensure that they have an aggressive push to ensure that the country can handle the demand for pent-up travel. From Palmetto Point, Eleuthera, I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Janelle.
Thanks so much, our Devontae Hanna in Eleuthera tonight. Well, Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper providing a type-lit response to questions surrounding the long-awaited Grand Bahama International Airport. Cooper's response comes in the wake of stalled movement on the Grand Lucayan development, which new developers, Florida-based Concord Wilshire, says depends on critical upgrades to the island's airport. Last week, Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed components of the Grand Lucayan will begin to take shape by January, but he didn't reveal if that included a deal for the airport as well. While touring several terminals in Eleuthera today, Cooper reiterated that good news is on the way for Grand Bahama in that regard.
We'll be making some announcements with respect to Grand Bahama in due course.
Next general election, the work of the Boundaries Commission is still ongoing. Member of Parliament for St. Barnabas, Shannon Cartwright, who serves on the commission, confirms the discussions continue and members remain actively engaged in a review process. Although no major public announcements have been made to date, Cartwright assures the public that the commission is diligently reviewing existing boundaries and preparing for the next phase of consultation.
The Boundaries Commission continues to do its work. I don't want to preempt any of the discussions that we're having so far. We will be meeting shortly again. Obviously, it's an important piece of work in the entire electoral process, and so Bahamians can be rest assured from our vantage point in the opposition that we will make our views heard relative to the discussion about needed changes because of population density, wherever it may be on the island of Providence or around the country.
Tonight, the opposition Free National Movement still on track to unveil its second tranche of candidates on Thursday. According to party officials, the second pool will not announce all remaining candidates, but Eyewitness News understands that more women in the party will receive the executive committee's tap on the shoulder. The FNM unveiled its first group of candidates back in June of this year. That batch included a mix of aspiring newcomers as well as former members of parliament who also occupied ministerial portfolios under the former Minnis-led administration, as well as incumbent members of parliament seeking to make a consecutive run. Stay tuned for the latest on this, as we will be live for the latest developments. Still talking news from politics tonight, the Free National Movement Chair, Dr. Dwayne Sands, demanding tonight the resignation of General Manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of New Providence, of the Bahamas, Clint Watson, whose purported appearance at a PLP candidate module days ago is being scrutinized. Sands is arguing tonight that his continued employment while seeking to become the PLP's candidate for Southern Shores is an, quote, egregious violation of ethics. This, as unconfirmed reports suggest that Watson, a veteran broadcaster, is eyeing the constituency currently being held by Leroy Major. Sands, however, is also calling for Latrey Ramming's resignation, accusing the communications director in the Office of the Prime Minister of openly campaigning for the PLP while drawing a taxpayer-funded salary. Well, Ramming was quick to fire back at Sands through a press release issued just moments ago. Latrey Ramming insisting that the FNM chairman has no standard, credibility, or authority to call for his resignation. In the statement, Ramming defends his tenure in the office since being appointed in 2021, while putting under a magnifying glass Sands' tenure as health minister during the former Minnis-led administration before his controversial resignation. As it relates to Watson, it's being argued that the Broadcasting Corporation general manager is not in breach of any public service policy, as he's not been nominated to represent any seat. Meantime, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis reigniting concerns tonight about what he's describing as an immigration crisis. And in an editorial provided to the press, Minnis called on the Davis administration to cut back on issuing work permits to Haitian laborers, adding that those jobs can go to Bahamian youth amid concerns about the youth unemployment rate. His comments coming weeks after Prime Minister Philip Davis admitted during a political event that the construction industry is rife with foreign workers. Minnis says he's of the view, according to his statement, that Haitian workers make up a significant portion of that number. To that point, private immigration consultant Luby Georges isn't entirely dismissing the former prime minister's calls.
In the true spirit of what Dr. Minnis said, I agree with him. 100% I agree with him. Those jobs, Bahamians, the young men, young women, they should get first dibs at those positions. And I wish that they would get those positions. However, for the business person that has to move forward with their work and their business and what needs to be done and the timelines bearing those in mind, those individuals, if they can't identify after doing what it is, all of the necessary groundwork, placing ads in the newspapers and that sort of thing, if they can't identify or nobody engages them and offering themselves for the position, then what are they left to do? So we understand it from both sides.
Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight. But when we come back, a young Bahamian, he's pleading for a job amid adversity. We've got his story coming up. And later, the first female suicide of the year, sparking mental health concerns. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
At Connet Bahamas, we are excited to share our latest arrival of Mosaic tiles. We are currently offering an incredible 50% off on a wide selection of our Mosaic tiles. Explore our extensive range of styles and colors to elevate your next project. Take advantage of this seasonal promotion and find the perfect fit for your space today. We are conveniently located in Grand Bahama, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Connet Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school.
They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas.
At Carrie's, find skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boy shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, and
You
more.
can even have your uniform skirts custom made.
Check out our selection of embroidered cotton shirts.
That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street.
Call us at 393-0758 or 817-0758.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles. Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Rubis, $5.48. Shell coming in at $5.50. Esso, $5.56. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. A young Bahamian doctor is turning pain into purpose tonight, refusing to let a physical disability stand in the way of his dream of becoming a professor. His journey hasn't been an easy one, but his determination speaks volumes. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has his story in this report.
Determined to push past barriers, 30-year-old Dr. Jared Russell says he's had to fight his way into every room. A brilliant young scientist, he holds a doctorate in inorganic chemistry, but back home in the Bahamas, he feels his biggest obstacle isn't his resume. It's the stigma around his disability. Multiple sclerosis changed everything for Russell, a former athlete. He spent his teenage years on the field, but in 2015, his diagnosis left him wheelchair-bound and facing an unexpected new reality. Still, his drive never wavered. Russell earned his PhD from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, after graduating with a chemistry degree from St. John's University in Minnesota. His passion, teaching the next generation of scientists.
Getting into the University of the Bahamas, where I can serve as a professor there, helped to upgrade our chemistry sector.
But returning home to the Bahamas, he says doors have been slow to open or shut altogether, and he believes his disability is why.
I can't do anything. I'm just driving around in this motorized chair. People may even limit me in terms of, oh, he can't teach.
Yet, even with rejection, Dr. Russell refuses to give up. His faith, he says, keeps him moving forward.
My faith in Jesus Christ, to see what Christ went through on the cross, his sacrifice on the cross wasn't in vain.
Ask about his ideal day. Russell paints a simple picture, doing research, mentoring young minds, and living a life of purpose.
Having the opportunity to actually open a facility in the Bahamas that focuses on research.
He's already applied to the University of the Bahamas in hopes of one day leading a classroom, turning his struggles into lessons of resilience. For Dr. Jared Russell, science is his calling, and while the road is far from easy, he believes his story, like his work, will one day inspire others to see possibilities beyond limits. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Linton. A story of purpose and determination. Meantime, Works Minister Clay Sweeting on the defense tonight after opposition Deputy Leader Shannon Don Cartwright called the Davis administration's shanty demolitions outdated and ineffective. Sweeting says he's proud of the work done so far in removing shantytown communities from several islands, as Cartwright accused the government of repeating the same strategies that he says does not provide a lasting solution. Sweeting declaring today the Davis administration is the only government that has even dealt with the issue, making clear that it takes a multi-agency effort and it's not just bulldozing, as Cartwright claims.
We have teams from the Ministry of Social Services, we have teams from the Department of Environmental Health, Defense Force, Immigration, Ministry of Works, Attorney General's Office. So these collectively work together to ensure that the proper process is taken to ensure that we deal with shanty towns across the country. The reality is that the Progressive Liberal Party is the only government that has really taken the shanty town head on. We have already demolished almost 400 structures throughout the country. The work continues. We have already assessed places in Eleuthera, Andros. The shantytown in Andros will get notifications within the next 2 weeks, and we expect to demolish 2 other shantytowns in New Providence within the next month.
Right, going on to describe the PLP's approach to demolition amateurish and irresponsible, while Sweeting argues it's all in an effort to ensure a level playing field for all living in the Bahamas.
The reality is that as Bahamians, citizens who have to go to the Ministry of Works, apply for a proper building permit, put out the funding to get architectural plans, purchase a property, and all of these stringent requirements from the Ministry of Works, it is imperative that all persons who live in this country live on the same level playing field. So for me, the Ministry of Works, the Unregulated Community Task Force has done an exceptional job to ensure that the persons that need assistance, whether if they are Bahamians, get that. That persons who do not have proper status, the Immigration Department deals with that aspect.
Well, following the shooting death of an alleged gang leader just over 48 hours ago, there remains fears about a potential wave of retaliatory killings. The acting commissioner of police, Anthony Roll, while on the scene, reassured that boots are on the ground to protect the public, but he also implored communities to partner with police to keep criminal activity at bay.
Any shooting of any sort is a concern. It's a concern to the police. As you said, this is the fourth shooting. I know our officers are really up and about throughout our communities, choice in the streets, trying to keep our presence up in this area. But we want to say that, the public has a role to play in what is happening in our country today. So we're appealing to people to, if you see something, say something.
He's also urging citizens not to turn a blind eye to criminal acts, as he emphasizes information handed to police by residents can prevent these heinous crimes.
A lot of people are trying to withdraw themselves and try to live on an island by themselves. But we are encouraging people to find an officer. I know a lot of people have a myth about reporting things, but there's got to be someone you trust. All right. And the police force. Find someone, find a family member. Just give us whatever information that we would need to help us in this fight against this crime.
Well, the country recording its first confirmed female suicide of the year, a case that's raising concern among mental health professionals and highlighting a troubling shift in suicide trends. The victim, a 28-year-old woman found unresponsive at a residence on Green Turtle Key, Abaco, over the weekend. The matter is still under police investigation, but early reports are pointing to suicide. Psychiatrist Dr. David Allen says the case reflects a troubling shift.
There are 3 types of suicide: suicidal ideation, where suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. Mostly women predominate in that area. Men have more completed suicides because they use more drastic measures. The other thing, men find it hard to stay in the sadness pole. They drift to the anger pole and drift down that whole reactive fatalism where it ends up either in suicide or homicide. But if you don't have community around you, even women have a hard time staying on the sadness pole. And so what I find now in some areas when women are alone, they are drifting to the anger pole like men. As a result, they feel hopelessness, and they're more now to go beyond just thinking about suicide or attempts, but doing with more drastic measures.
Dr. Allen says this shift demands attention, not fear, but vigilance, especially in certain communities.
This experience of suicide is something that really challenges me. We don't need to panic. We need to stay on our guard, to keep loving, to keep sharing, to keep helping. And please don't deny the power of the church.
Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, the Ministry of Health is embracing technology to enhance their care for senior citizens. We've got the details, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Who's the real MVP of the soil, the hero of the harvest? The Agrarian Awards 2025 is here, and we want you to nominate the farmer who's growing greatness in your community.
8 categories up for grabs and a chance to win up to $50,000 in cash prizes.
Brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization, honoring the hands that feed the nation. Visit adobahamas.org to submit your nomination for the Agrarian Awards 2025.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, the elderly are not a burden, but a treasure. That's the message tonight from the Ministry of Health as it looks to honor and support the nation's seniors. Today, officials announcing a new partnership with the Remember 2 platform and PTC, rolling out a soft pilot project that will use technology to assist some of the country's most vulnerable citizens. Our Laurencia Smith has more on this tonight.
I'll be keeping an eye on your health in the background, 24/7. I'll send you alerts to remind you to take your medications on time. So do not ignore my gentle reminders.
Meet Remy, the new AI assistant set to support older adults at the geriatric hospital and its affiliate clinics over the next 8 weeks. But exactly what does Remy do? RM2 CEO Carlette DeVoe explains.
24-hour real-time monitoring of your vitals, your hydration risks, your location, just in conversations. Seniors can now talk to Remy, so Remy can find out how they're doing.
Remy is a part of the pilot program designed to enhance patient care and provide daily support for seniors. The initiative is in partnership between the Ministry of Health, the Remember 2 platform, and BTC. Among the 100 participants are Linda Strawn and Arlington Sherman, who are in their 70s, praising the program.
And I'm glad I'm training to monitor my health and stuff like that.
And have the monthly or every 3 months checked up. I think it's a beautiful program. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
According to the World Health Organization, in 2023, people over the age of 65 account for 9.3% of the total population here in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Dovell highlighted the harsh reality. Many elderly are left behind.
Months ago, I had to go and send a charter into one of our remote family islands. Someone dropped their loved one and left them and refused to pick them up. And so this is now creating an additional burden on the Sandals Rehabilitation Geriatric Center and all of the health facilities that exist in the country.
The launch took place at the Public Hospital Authority's headquarters, where RM2 and BTC staff assisted the seniors enrolling into the program. BTC CEO Samir Bhatti says that BTC is providing connectivity for the partnership, but the support goes beyond technology.
It's about offering families reassurance and peace of mind, knowing that their loved ones are being monitored and any alarms can easily be reported.
Officials say it's just the beginning as they continue to incorporate technology into the country's healthcare system as they push to provide the best care for Bahamians. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much. Laurencia Smith also has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janae. We have the latest box scores from Team Bahamas performance over at the 2025 FIBA America Cup. I'll have those details straight ahead in sports.
Make every moment unforgettable with Shop Smart. From colorful floaties and water guns to light vests that keep fun safe, we've got everything you need to dive into the season. Planning a beach picnic? We've got the cutest sets and coolest bubbles to bring the vibes. And don't forget our trendy swimwear for all ages. Summer starts here, only at Shop Smart. Your Miracle, number 122 Matthew Street.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles. I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
Stop, my stuff. But it's hot today, boy. Wait. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in there.
I can inside
there.
there.
I can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You gonna do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step out the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites. We offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Laurencia Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off tonight, we're on the basketball court. The Bahamas men's national team suffered a tough defeat at the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup, falling to Uruguay over in Nicaragua. The team left the Bahamas without a win in pool play and eliminated from qualifying contention. Team Bahamas fell to Uruguay 100-91, going winless throughout the tournament, 0-3. The squad struggled from the floor, shooting just 7 for 18 in the fourth quarter and going 3 for 12 from beyond the arc. Point guard Dominic Bridgewater led the team with a high of 29 points, while Franco Miller Jr. added 20 points along with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Cantuan Smith was the only other player in double figures with 16 points. Despite missing NBA talents like Buddy Hield, DeAndre Ayton, Kai Jones, Eric Gordon, and rookie VJ Edgecombe, the team remained competitive. The Bombers opened up the tournament with a 105-93 overtime loss to the United States on Saturday, followed by an 84-66 defeat to Belize on Sunday. With the loss, the team will now have to settle for a 9th place finish at the championships. The last time the Bahamas appeared in the tournament, it was in the 90s, and they finished 8th. Its best showing to date. The squad was led by former national team player Lou Ross Tum Tum Nairn Jr. Now, all isn't lost. The 242 still has a chance to earn a spot at the 2027 FIBA World Cup and the 2028 Olympic Games over in LA, and the road remains wide open for the team to chase the big goal. Well, congratulations for a good effort put forth from us here at Eyewitness Sports. Also in sports, a new court addition over at Bahama Resort as they officially opened 2 new paddle ball courts over at the John McCrone Tennis Center. The 2 new courts at the center are adding an elevated padel experience designed for spirited play, community, and wellness. This much is coming from Rackets Director at the resort, Deron Donaldson.
We also will be offering for persons that have not been able to play it or intimidated by it. We have pros that are available to resort guests and locals to come out and take group sessions in the evening all through the week and on Saturdays. So come out and try it. Of course, we have our tennis clinics, we have our pickle clinics, and so a whole assortment of racket sports. We're going to start all of those clinics in September, and then we have a lot of tournaments that we're going to activate that will be open to the public to participate in. So if you love paddle, you love pickle, we'll have some tournaments going on in September and October. So stay tuned.
Also on hand for the opening was Sports Minister Mario Boleg, who extended his excitement about the new court.
The advancement and development of our young people and those who are not too young when it comes to paddleball and sports here in this country. It is initiatives such as this which has allowed not just our guests but also our locals to be able to remain healthy and stay away from obesity and have an opportunity to live a healthy life.
And if you know anything about the sports minister, he is very competitive, and he surely did get on the court and showed his skills.
Come on, one bounce. Now everybody watching at home, the minister hit 2.
Well, maybe I'll definitely be heading over to the center for an adventure. Who knows? Only time will tell. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Laurencia Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
The Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training is on a mission to hire the best and brightest teachers to help shape our nation's future. During the first ever job fair for teachers hosted by the ministry in collaboration with the Department of Labor, Education Minister Glenys Hanna-Martin underscored the importance of inclusive and quality education for all students.
But when we say every child counts, we mean that. We mean that. If it's special needs, if it's a child in program, sure. Yeah. We don't give up on our children. We don't do it. We don't do it. So when you're in the classroom, those of you who will be successful, that's the expectation. That's the expectation, that the centerpiece of your effort and your energy are these children.
The ministry is also seeking specialized teachers as it expands its focus on career and technical education, ensuring that all students are job ready.
Coming out of our strategic goal planning, we came up with access, providing access, quality, holistic, and ensuring that our students are globally competitive. So that means we must cater to the needs of all of our students. That includes our technical students, those who are more hands-on. And so we are looking for officers who can assist us in that area. We have the Polytechnic School that will be established in September of this year, where there's specialized training for those students in the technical areas. So we need persons to fill that area.
We are looking for teachers. We are looking for the best and brightest that will add to our pool of teachers. And so we are hoping during this recruitment fair that we'll find quality teachers, as I stated earlier, the best and brightest teachers that will be able to fill the needs within our school.
Jonalee McIntosh for Ed Talk.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Thembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller. A full look at today's top stories. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up this evening, F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands is calling for the resignation of Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, and General Manager at ZNS, Clint Watson. The shocking release prompting quick response tonight. We have a whole lot to talk about as it relates to that and hear more of what Dr. Sands is saying. Also tonight is the much desired trust in the Royal Bahamas Police Force becoming more of a dream. A legitimate question tonight. We hear from Deputy Commissioner of Police Anthony Roll on that. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Now, we will get to all of the latest developments in politics in just a moment. But first this evening, we begin with an issue that is also brewing out of Lynden Pindling International Airport. Stakeholders in the livery and luxury transportation industry are responding to claims from the taxi industry that they are given preferential treatment over taxi operators. And as a result, unfair competition. The row was unfolding, as I said, at the Lynden Pindling International Airport and has taxi drivers threatening strike action. Joining me this evening is Tory Austin. He is president of the Bahamas Livery Drivers Union. Good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Shanique. Good night.
Let's talk about what the taxi drivers are saying. And I know you all are, and your members are extremely angry because they feel as though, wait a minute, one, they've been blindsided, and they too are asking you, what is the taxi drivers and taxi union talking about?
I actually appalled myself. Shanique, I don't know what unfair advantage they're talking about. I would ask any Bahamian or anybody that has any common sense to come out and take the ratio of, we call people that come out of that airport that actually go in a taxi cab versus people that actually take a livery car. it's just appalling to me.
So they get more jobs.
Of course.
They are the preferred on the door, on the proverbial door.
Taxi is an economical way to transport yourselves, and that happens, and that is a universal language. All over the world, the taxis move more than any vehicle that you can think about transporting.
Well, then what is happening? What is your role at the airport? Yours, meaning your members, your drivers who work from Linden Pinley?
Our role is to provide clients to meet the demand of what this new generation wants. Our role is to provide a luxury car and service to
a better experience.
A better experience, exactly. People that want to move around this country, that come into our country now, has shown a demand. They're staying at luxury hotels, so it's a luxury brand, yeah, and they want to move around and maybe in a luxury car.
So you're saying that the taxi industry has fallen behind, severely when it comes to providing that? Because remember now, there were days when there were Mercedes taxi vans. Yeah, that defined the Bahamas. That defined the tourism industry and riding in the Bahamas in a public transportation as such a taxi cab. Are you saying that they have slipped significantly?
Yes, I'll say, and the transportation sector in the Bahamas has slipped tremendously. And this is why I took on the role of being the president, because I'm trying to raise the standards of transportation in this country, especially from the delivery standpoint from where I stand. As the leader of our group, I am trying to raise the way people, the service level, the car level, the standards of how you would be transport anywhere in this country, whether it's from the airport, whether it's a local, whether it's at a hotel, wherever you want to be. We want to raise the standards of how anybody, whether it's Bahamian, a tourist walking in there, driving, we want to be able to raise the experience. And so, in my personal opinion, the service level has dropped a lot. The type of car that you drive in has dropped a lot. If you, as you can see,
give an example of some of the vehicles that shock you that have a taxi plate on them. Especially from Linden Pinley.
Well, as someone who works there at a daily, you can see cars that have been sleep or death from the night before. So imagine a car that someone has slept in the night before. You think that's humane?
What do you mean someone? You mean the cab driver?
Well, we have a lot of that.
Sleeping in their cars at the airport?
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because they want to be first out. There's a lineup, and they want to be first out.
These people are without brushing teeth, changing clothes, being freshly
showered,
and the car already just raggedy, right?
Exactly.
And so imagine all of that combined, that they are now sleeping out there, allegedly according to this president here, they are sleeping out at Linden Pinley because they want to be first on the door to get the first job and hopefully get as many jobs as possible in a given day. So they are chancing sleeping at the airport in their vehicles so that they can then, again, be first on the call-up.
First on a call-up system. But it's the world has evolved. We're not talking about the 1940s or 60s when this whole taxi thing was the most popular way of transportation. The world has evolved. You go where you travel now, you may want a black car service. All we do is provide an option. That's all we do.
So it isn't unfair for you to be out there in your wonderful, beautiful vehicle, and them there over there, knowing that people will say, "Hold on, I think I think I'd like to go in this one here." You don't think it's unfair? You were saying, "Listen, the world," because I'll tell you, when I went to London last year, I was so happy to drive in one of those. I mean, it's fantastic. The feeling is good. I didn't feel itchy. I didn't feel like, "Hold on, this man slept in this vehicle." I didn't feel that way.
Of course, Shanique, you telling me you work hard all year long. You finally decide to take a vacation. You and your family of 4 or 5 people. And you walk out of an airport and you're looking for a refreshing way to get to your hotel. See, we offer not only the vehicle. I want us to focus on the service that we are. Our cars come with complimentary water, air conditioning. I mean, a chauffeured service. We're not a chauffeured service where we are right now today still training and additional training to our drivers to bring them to the level of being a real chauffeur. Cold towels, the music of your choice. When you go cruising down the JFK Boulevard or something.
So listen,
I want you to understand the services that we provide compared to a taxi driver.
To what they have not even kept the standard where it was decades ago. They have allowed it just to regress.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, and our position is to keep those standards and even raise them even higher.
Continue to have it be elevated.
That's what we're working on. See, Shanique, as a delivery president, we are working in-house. We're not worried about all the noise in the market. We are trying to improve as a sector. That's important for us. How can we set the standard in not only the Bahamas, but globally as the world-class place that when people come to the Bahamas, the way of transportation. We aim to be the most trusted source of transportation in all
So
of
you
the
were
world.
saying what delivery drivers and your union and your members are doing is simply keeping up
Yes.
with where the world has gone and the demands of now more
Exactly.
discerning travelers.
Exactly.
But the taxi industry and what they're experiencing is nothing to do with you because they too can upgrade and enhance.
My point exactly.
Mm-hmm. So you don't see it as unfair advantage when you're offering water and cool towels?
That's part of what we do as a delivery sector. When you talk about a luxury brand, that's the service that we provide. Let's just use a hotel, for example. The Bahamas has 3 different hotels. They have an option. You can stay in the Rosewood and you can spend extra more money because you're going to expect a better service.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with transportation. See, what it is for transportation is this. You can come out at the airport, and let's say you decide to get in a taxi. You normally have to go with the first person out. Not always that first person is the most desirable taxi that you really want to get into. And what I mean by that is, it could have been a person who might have slept in the car all night. It could have been a person that doesn't have the air condition. It could have been a person that even doesn't have a radio station working. Now, don't get me wrong. There are good taxis, and I respect the taxi industry, and I don't want to be here to bombard them or make them put them down. But there is a need and there is a way for them to elevate their services and their vehicles.
Your members, several of them contacted me and they wanted you to come out and speak to this.
Yeah.
What is troubling for them when they have seen those headlines for the last few days?
And I'll tell you this, Shanique, we're not at war with the taxis. I want to make that perfectly clear to the general public and to all of our drivers and to the taxi community. We're not at war with the taxis. But what we will not do is sit down and let people bully us and shove us around and so we are here to defend ourselves. We are not here to take advantage of any system. We do not take advantage. We do not have an advantage of any system. We are just a viable option for the traveler that comes into this country. And I don't like to use the word traveler. I like to say any customer that wants our services, we are here for. Because if you at home and you decide today that you and your family wants to get a SUV or one of our town cars or one of our limos to the airport, why not? Mm-hmm. It's just an option.
But I don't know if things have changed because I know taxi drivers stopped servicing Bahamia, the local community.
And guess what I'll tell you? And I'll tell you this on that. We as a delivery sector, just got out of the meeting, we are continuing to try to look at ways of providing services throughout the Bahama land, throughout the island, so you could, because we're not just focusing on Bahamians. We are right now working with app persons and different global leaders in transportation who is going to help us and present something to the government to regulate and how we can maneuver.
So you all are now trying to bring that real personalized experience to each household, if they so desire. So almost like the systems we see internet, Lyft and Uber and the rest of it.
Why not? You need a ride to the airport at 6 a.m. Do you have a taxi that you can call?
No.
Exactly. Why not? We have a reliable, trusted app that you can call and get an SUV to pick you and your family up to take you to the airport because you don't feel like driving and parking there. What's wrong? Mm-hmm. And so that's the way we're trying to advance. See, like I say, we cleaning our house.
So this is why your members were so insistent that, listen, get our position out there.
Now, I'll tell you this, Shanique. Do we have 1 or 2 bad apples in our bunch? Yes. And I'm working vigorously to deal with that matter. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's all perfect. We do have some guys that probably could portray to be taxi drivers and move around for a little, and we're totally against that. That's not part of what the union stands for.
So there is no outright competition on the door at LPIA?
No. We don't consider that as competition. It's a whole
wait, Nas. What you all consider versus what's happening are 2 different things. Are you all out there like getting the same jobs and jostling like the cab driver who slept overnight right there and trying to be the first person at the gate? Are you all right there? Because initially this was for taxi drivers, yes, to be able to get fares to go with whomever to go wherever from the airport.
Well, initially it was for taxi drivers. Mm-hmm. They had 28 plus years ago. There was a limousine call-up line. Limousines were out there because people requested limos back in the day. Yeah. And as we evolved, the SUVs and town cars became on stream. And so they also end up joining the line. Mm-hmm. So nowadays, limousine has gone out and more SUVs and town cars and Sprinter vans have taken over the luxury market. And so we have just continued that. It's just nothing new. The airport is designed to have 2 town cars, 2 livery cars, 2 SUVs and 2 limousines and a space on the door. So what we do is we have a dispatcher on the door that gets the directive of an ad person who acts as an ambassador and acts as a concierge person and directs the person. She would give the guest an option and the guest chooses the option today. Today I want me and my family to ride in an SUV. And we pull up and take the guest. What is...
Well, there's nothing, you were saying nothing that suggests any hostility, any intentions to be seen as the preferred. What do you want to say? Because I'll tell you, do you think there's much support for, or even understanding for a taxi strike? And even though it's not your place to maybe speak to it, but just from the outside looking in.
No, I don't see a reason of strike. And I'll tell you, what we did is we've been having meetings. We had meetings prior with the taxi cab union president and their executive team to try to come to some resolve. Because at the end of the day, I'm Bahamian, my colleagues are Bahamian, he's Bahamian, his colleagues are Bahamian. There's a world that we can both exist. Let us come up with new, creative ways, present them to the government to get regulated, and figure this out. And we could all work together. But you tell me that only taxis could be here, only taxis to be on the hotel door, to only taxis to be on. That is ludicrous in this day and time. I travel the world, Shanique. I just came from a trip to Vegas earlier in the year. I walk out of my hotel. The bellman says to me the same thing. Sir, would you like a taxi or would you like one of our nice luxury cars? When I was going 5 minutes up the road, you know what I decided to do? Jump in a taxi. When I wanted to roam the town and have a little bit more time, I went in an SUV. But I had the option.
And that's all you are offering.
And that's all we want to do is have the option. We do not want the taxi jobs. That's not our clientele. That's not our market. That's not our niche. Our niche is the luxury spender, the person that wants to spend and doesn't mind spending 100, 120, 150 bucks on a transportation. I don't want a taxi job. That's not my people.
I know you just came from a meeting directly here, just before airtime. What was that meeting to address, if you can say?
Well, we have monthly meetings.
Okay.
And our meetings are always designed to improve as a sector. We deal with our in-house issues. Nothing to do with taxis and whatever. We are looking at, like I say, we're talking right now with global partners and how we can improve our product. Okay? I want to actually, to be honest with you, we want to get away from standing on the door. We don't want to do that business. But I've met that in place in the last 18 months since I've been the president.
Right.
Okay? We want to find a better way and solution way of how we move people around this country rather than having to stand on there and having to be a dispatcher. We're looking at ways how we can improve the chauffeur, the driver himself, dress codes. All these different things I've addressed today in our meeting. How the driver can be dressed with. What is happening with your car? We're going to try to help. We're not going to do road traffic stop, but we're going to help inspect some of the cars and make sure that they're reading up to the standards. How we can help a brother. How we can become a digital platform for payment. Are you working on getting your credit card system, your booking system, your website, etc. How you can improve as a business person. And that's what we're working on. So every month we have a monthly meeting with all of our members and try to improve our sector. Not to worry about all the noise and the money.
You're not caught up in the row and who thinks this and that. You're trying to...
Who have time for that? You have time for that? Because I don't.
No.
We have time to make our people better. That's what we're all about. How do we go out and make our product and our people better? Because the better you are, like I said, you dress good, your car good, the money can come. Yeah? The money is going to come.
It absolutely will.
And so that's what we focus on. Like I say, these are Bahamian men and women that have to take care of their families. And we are in a situation now that we have more luxury cars on the road than ever before. There's more taxis on the road. And we're not trying to, like I say, I listened to a comment the other day that we hitting on their turf or marching their corn. No, we have our own area that we want to get our business from and just go about and do our job. Put on our pants every morning and brush our teeth and go to say our prayers and go to work.
And get the job done.
And get a fair income without taking bread out of anybody's mouth.
I think
but we have to look at the sector itself. I mean,
no, the sector needs an overhaul.
The total transportation in this country needs an overhaul.
Absolutely, because what passes as a taxi cab, generally speaking, nowadays, I mean, Paso should have no taxi player in it.
Why some things out there with have plates on it?
Let's be like, come on, man. If you sitting in the seat, just you. That should not be a taxi.
I tell you, we have some cars that are pulling up on the doors. I talking about if you feel these degrees with being going on,
Oh, it's hot.
100 degrees. And imagine having to drive in the car and you as a client can't.
And the driver telling you fan.
Fan.
Or offering you pizza.
Or he's speeding very fast. You'll get some fresh because, it's ridiculous.
No,
it's ridiculous,
I
man.
think the energy should be put into
That's-
upgrading versus getting upset and wanting to take strike action. I thank you very much. Of course, this is something that we here at Beyond the Headlines are going to continue to follow. Thank you very much, Tori Austin, for being here. Tori, of course, once again, President of the Bahamas Livery Drivers Union. Thank you for being here with me this evening on Beyond the Headlines. When we come back, we are going to shift gears. That's right. We're going to get into the biggest. That's pretty big, Tori. But this one is late. It's kind of late breaking. Late this afternoon, early this evening. You all saw it. You all saw the headlines. You heard me talk about it at the top of the show. F&M Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands says ZNS General Manager Clint Watson and OPM's Communications Director Latrey Ramming must go. We will talk about that when we come back.
America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Wise Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Just before we continue this evening, I just want to, and I thank you all for your participation, and I want to share this comment. Now, you all are sending voice notes. I'm live. I can't listen to them. But here's one. Shanique, you can go to Freeport right now. This is from the first segment. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. The first segment just wrapped up a minute ago where we spoke with the president of the Bahamas Livery Union, Drivers Union, Tori Austin, who talked about, listen, there's no fight from his point of view with taxi drivers. There's no unfair competition because they are not competing for the same guests. And so we were talking about the state of taxi cabs as well. And so here it is. This person says, Shanique, you can go to Freeport right now. I mean, at this very moment, right now. There's a particular taxi that uses his hand brakes as brakes. That's happening right now. Now, who licensed that man?
You got a MacGyver.
MacGyver. That's exactly what it is. MacGyver. Listen, no, MacGyver. I'm surprised he running the car with his foot on the hot pavement. Listen to me. We gotta stop playing games, man. It's no way somebody. And you all told me that is the emergency brake he's using. So I don't know how that even works. How you do that? How you get the car to move if you have the emergency brakes up? But I don't stop playing games. That's what I mean. Stop playing games. Now, listen, we're going to move forward this evening. Free National Movement Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands is demanding the resignation of General Manager of the Broadcasting Corporation, Clint Watson, whose purported appearance at a PLP candidate module days ago is being widely scrutinized. Sands argues that his continued employment while seeking to become the PLP's candidate for Southern Shores is an egregious violation of ethics. This, as unconfirmed reports suggest that Watson, a veteran broadcaster, is eyeing the constituency that's currently led by local pastor Leroy Major. Sands, however, is also calling for Latreille Raming's resignation, accusing the communication director in the office of the Prime Minister of openly campaigning for the PLP while drawing a taxpayer-funded salary. Now, Raming is firing back tonight. He's insisting that the F&M chairman has no standard, no credibility, or authority to call for his resignation. In the statement, Raming defends his tenure in the office of the Prime Minister since being appointed in 2021, while putting under a magnifying glass Sands' tenure as health minister during the former Minnis-led administration. As it relates to Watson, Raming argued that the Broadcasting Corporation's general manager is not in breach of any public service policy, as he was not and has not been nominated to represent any seat. Well, let's break this down this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, my contributors, Peggy Candace and Glenroy Pratt. Good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here. I know this is something that you both can get into, but first, let me just give you an idea of something Dr. Sands says in that two-page release. He says, the government has a blatant disregard for the freedom of the press and a conflict of interest that undermines that democracy. Watson has not been on a show for some time now, as you all would see. He has a nightly show. However, he remains the general manager at ZNS. And so let's get into this, guys. Precedence has been set here before. It's almost expected by some or many, and ZNS no less, where quite a number of on-air personalities, whether it's news or radio programming, have made the leap from media into politics. So is the call, here's the first question for you, for the resignations of these two individuals a credible ask at this juncture?
Good evening, good night, Bahamas. Shanique, thank you for having me once again. You know, the words that come to mind is the hypocrisy of Dr. Dwayne Sands. And I'll get straight to the point. The former Senator Jamal Morse was also an aspiring candidate for the Free National Movement. If you don't know, he works for ZNS. He is the producer of one of their shows. Now, he may not be the general manager, but he works for the Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, which election season was this?
Now, he was the aspiring candidate, firstly, for Tall Pines. How I know that I did his PR. He then jumped from Tall Pines once somebody came in and he don't stand a chance against the person because he's one of the boys, he went to South Beach. Jamal Morse was not asked to resign. There's also another young gentleman, aspiring candidate for the F&M. He works for ZNS Norton in Grand Bahama. And so what is the difference? Oh, he's a general manager. They're all employees of the Broadcasting Corporation.
Well, he is, I'll tell you, yes, Jamal Moss is an employee and an on-air personality, but what you don't know is that he is a director. So he is in middle management at the Broadcasting Corporation. And you're right, he is also still on air, and he is seeking whichever political, appointment that he is interested in aspiring to as well.
So what is the difference? Why call? And I've seen some of the comments made for Mr. Clint Watson. Mr. Clint Watson is a Bahamian. He have a right to apply. He have a right to want to serve this country at a different level of service. Has he committed a crime? Is he a non-Bahamian? Is he under 18? I think they are the criteria to offer yourself for serving in the House of Assembly. And so I think it's a hypocrisy. It appears that the F&M is diminished to the point that if we don't win this way, we'll try win the other way. And we're still waiting to hear your plans to govern. So instead of trying to eliminate the competition, convince us that you're right for the job.
Glenroy, your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on all Dr. Sands had to say? It was a lengthy news release. I just kind of picked out what was said in the news. I went with that as well. But I'm sure you've browsed through the entire release of some of what he had to say.
Yes, thank you very much, Shanika, and good evening to you and Peggy, and good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening.
You know, this is, I hear Peggy, yeah. But, you know, I have a differing view, obviously, from what Peggy stated. And let me tell you some of the things why. Obviously, I've been watching the, ZNS in terms of its distribution of news and so on and so forth. I do recognize that there has been some balance in terms of how it approaches this seemingly electoral process. But there's always...
You mean you've noticed there's been some balance?
There have been some balance.
In this season?
Yes, I've seen some balance in the sense that you have opposing sides and having, especially even on Clint's show, there have been opposing side having their dialogue back and forth. However, him being the general manager dictates what happens in that whole organization. And obviously from that perspective, it gives the appearance of interference relative to what information
But have
is
we
being...
seen, and that's what I want to talk about right now, have we seen that interference? Because, ZNS, the secret to ZNS, and you all know my hello hi, who hasn't in media walked through the doors of ZNS? I'm one of them. So I have a little bit of information about how ZNS rule. We know it's a public broadcaster. Right. The government of the day predominantly takes management of ZNS in terms of their tenure, and they make their appointments, etc. Because why? It is really to get the government's message across. But have we seen any sort of threat to denying a voice or an opinion of others?
Well, again, the appearance. See, I mean, and there's a reality that, listen, if you have somebody who is in charge of an organization, they dictate policy. And if for some reason there is some messaging or something that comes out against the government in a sense that may be credible, is that information going to come forth? Is that voice going to be muffled? Is that person going to not be able to speak whatever the truth is to power? And so these are the questionable things that come as a result. You should not have a room for that opportunity by not allowing yourself to be in this process of the electoral process at this stage. If that was his intent, he should have waited. The other aspect of it is, when you look back, there was a few weeks ago, there was an individual who was invited to come on ZNS inside Grand Bahama, and then while he was there, they stopped the show and told him he had to leave. And so when you look at that, what was the reasoning behind that?
Well, if you hear the story, Glenroy, you bring things up and know the full story, because
Yes.
I understand and was told, never mention it, never even discussed it,
Right.
what the story was. They were there to talk about something entirely different. Peggy, do you remember what the topic was?
I think it was a show about men.
And sort of this emotional issues that's happening with men nowadays.
Right.
And so he wanted to put in, according to what I heard, he wanted to put in his political plugs. And he was cautioned several times that let's stick to the storyline, let's stick to the show. And he wanted to use it. But
that's what you were told. See, that's
I'm saying, and that's what I was told.
But see, that is exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. So now that you have this perception of interference based on somebody's ambition, it gives the impression that there will never be fair, justice, and equitable distribution of information that comes forth.
Listen, all of us are scrutinized heavily, particularly in this season. It's been no secret. ZNS, as best as it tries to be as middle of the road, is not necessarily middle of the road in terms of it gives the government view and then it presents the opposition's view. It's always been that way since I was an employee at ZNS.
But is it right though?
But my dear, from the time it was instituted, I imagine under the Pindling administration, this is the way it's run. Public broadcasters in the region, that is the way they are run.
And each side, when in opposition, complains the identical words. But I want to tune into...
And I have an issue with if it's done on the other side as well.
Yes.
There should be fair, equitable distribution of information, and there should not be any appearance of interference based on somebody's political ambition. This isn't a strike against Clint's ambition. It's the reality of what perception may come as a result of his ambition.
But Glenroy, let's look at Clint Watson's show. Clint Watson's show has been more available than any other show to the Free National Movement, to the leadership of the Free National Movement. His round table has been always balanced with both or every side. And so it is surprising that he would be picked on by a party who he put aside all his politicalness and allowed them to come and express their views on a show. And that is unbiased.
But listen,
that is unbiased.
Let's not forget, Mr. Watson was a gentleman who sat on this particular network and has often lambasted the government and its performance and the things that were transpiring under the former administration.
But that was in a different role.
No, however,
has he done that? Have you all? Has he been unfair to the opposition now?
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
But sitting in this chair, you said in this chair. Go ahead, Glenroy.
Let me finish the point. Understand the point. He has lambasted the previous administration based on the performance and based on the things that at the time that the people felt that needed to be addressed.
Right.
Granted, I take that as it is. However, right now in this country, there are many issues that are now prevalent that needs to be addressed. Homelessness is needing to be addressed in this country. I haven't heard any kind of same drive.
What is it? Say it again, Glenroy.
Homelessness.
Glenroy.
We have a situation.
Glenroy, I'll tell you this.
We have people committing suicide.
Glenroy.
The misery index is high. Light bills are high. People are struggling in this country.
Wait a minute, Glenroy.
And I haven't heard much media voice their concerns.
Glenroy, which media you have not heard? One.
I'm talking about specifically about the gentleman.
You're talking about ZNS. Yes. Has ZNS not discussed at all the cost of electricity or mental health?
Not in the same passion.
Wait a minute.
Not with the passion. Not with the same.
What the hell? How you can determine how somebody presents?
I judge you based on your past performance. And based on Mr. Watson's past performance, he's vociferous. He came out strong. He came out hard. And under this particular administration, there seems to be mum's the word.
Shanique, I remember Friday at ZNS, I was the guest of another show that we were on. And the host was fired. Well, unceremoniously fired under the Menace administration.
Wait, hold on, son, you're talking about me.
Well, that doesn't mean that she should have been fired. See, don't mix apples and oranges. I don't agree with anybody being unjustly treated.
And I was there like this. And Shanique saying, this letter, and she didn't even give me a heads up. Unceremoniously
nobody should be
by the Menace administration.
Nobody should be unjustly treated nor fired. But the point is,
comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Dwayne
Sands don't have clean hands.
See, but you're talking about Sands. I'm talking about Mr. Watson.
He's the one he made the statement.
Yeah, but he made the statement.
He's the one who made the statement.
Glenroy and Peggy, you will have every opportunity to continue this discussion right after this break. By the way, I want to give some information about just the start of ZNS. I said under the Pindling administration, I think it even goes back further than that. Again, the public broadcasters, particularly in the region, it shows up differently. We know that there's a PBS in the United States, and it has really transformed over the years to become its own sort of news agency. But in the region, it's sort of a different thing. It takes more of the tone of how the BBC is run, but still differently for this region here. But we're gonna get into more of this and hear more ideas about exactly what the chairman of the Free National Movement has said. How about we can also get to Raming? Is his call for the resignation of Latreille Raming a fair one, and why? We'll talk about that as well right after this break. Stay close.
My late husband, Tyrone Albury, had a passion for brewing beer at home. We found one of his recipes and we started on the stovetop with 1 gallon of beer. It was a hobby that turned into a passion project that turned completely out of control. We had to make a decision whether or not we were going to continue home brewing or open a brewery. So craft beer is basically brewing a very small batch of beer. Every individual batch of beer is going to be slightly different.
We're always trying to figure out what the next best beer is going to be.
Just the sheer amount of love and effort that goes into every brew. It's a science, really, to selecting the right grains and the hops, and then expanding on some of the normals.
Really, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot more of the locals that have found our location.
They realize that there is a fuller flavor beer out there, and we take pride in that. When we first started the concept of the brewery and we were looking for funding, it was the SBDC that we leaned on to help me push through at times when I wanted to give up, to tell me when I was making mistakes, and for that, I am grateful. So I would encourage all entrepreneurs, if you're looking for funding, mentorship, and encouragement to launch your new business idea, I would encourage you to contact the SBDC.
Are you ready to take the next step in growing your business? Check your eligibility for our guaranteed loan program at sbdcbahamas.com/GLP or call 461-7232 to learn more about how the SBDC can support your business.
So you want a space, but not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Glenroy, I want to say welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you. It's good to have you all tuned in. I'll tell you, the show is not long enough. And behind the scenes, you missed the show. I need somebody in here. The tape, like a reality TV, so people could see that. Wait a minute, what? This is said during. This is how they really behave. So I just want to say, though, Glenroy mentioned the cost of electricity and stuff, and I've made a fair attempt to discuss it, to discuss what's happening in Harbor Island, for example, that's still experiencing some challenges while largely having it addressed, and all these different things. In this silly season, I have been attacked and said, no, I'm not being fair. But what I'm doing on this show, I am calling it as I see it. I've said now for well over a year and a half, if not two, about when I had my special guests here, whether from the opposition in particular, the infighting is too much. I have said on PLP ministers, when they appeared on the show, whatever it is they were to discuss in their portfolio, I put the questions to them. Now let's get back, the focus right now is going to soon be the Office of the Prime Minister and the Communications Director, but the focus is this. Jamal Moss was an F&M senator in the last F&M administration while retaining employment with ZNS. Now, ZNS, I said the Pindling administration was when it was, I guess, officially sort of really became this radio and TV entity. But it was really started under the UBP. Get this, a senior manager, general manager said, and by the way, this is live, so everybody is feeding and informing me about stuff that even happened before me. Here's what happened. He was told by both political organizations that, listen, he could not be general manager there because he was apolitical. And so the thing is, when, again, I told you all about how ZNS operates. Glenroy said it has to change. No, it ain't. I feel as though ZNS has its role. ZNS has its role and it needs to stick within that role. It's been established to do exactly as it's doing. And now, Glenroy, I'll tell you this. Before we get back to this and you all jump in, because we have to talk about why is Latrey Raming being called on to resign, right? You talk about electricity bills, and I'm following this closely as I remember just last week, I did a whole hour with BPL to talk about this ongoing energy reform. Well, it turns out energy reform is happening all over the world, especially in the United States. 2 states in particular right now, and they're not limited to these 2 states, Arkansas, Florida. Energy reform is happening there, and guess what? Electricity is up. Electricity is up. One impacts me personally, and so I can tell you, and I'm like, what? But again, not compared to us with our fuel surcharge, but for them, they are saying, what's going on? This is higher than normal. And so I'm just saying that all these little things, Glenroy, that you say are not being addressed or are the issues, yes, they are being addressed, but also you've got to bring a level of balance and comparisons to see what's happening elsewhere. Is it just synonymous to the Bahamas, or are other people experiencing, and why? What's going on? And then mental health. I said to you during the break, I don't think we can legislate mental health. So is it a government thing about mental health? I don't know. You may want to link it to the misery index. Well, okay. We've talked about the misery index, Peggy, before on the show, Glenroy, you as well, because you both have been with me for years. And the thing about it is the misery index is at best, it is being addressed in terms of, okay, there was an increase in the minimum wage. There is ongoing talk about a living wage. It may not be enough, Glenroy, but it was done. And so what I'm saying is, as we move forward, and I'm just trying to be as balanced as possible, as we move forward, I don't know, we have got to look at this with wider lens. But let's get back to this discussion now. Let's get back to this discussion. Latrey Raming, Dr. San says, again, what Latrey's issue is, Dr. San says, Latrey is out there campaigning as communications director. Now, I don't go on the streets in terms of being a reporter. I don't see what he does. I don't know. I've not seen news stories of him on the beat campaigning. But you all out there, you all have seen, you all know. Let's talk about that.
I personally have no issue with it because I recognize it is what it is, right? Because you have a current Minister of Foreign Affairs who always ends his quotation talking about the party when he's supposed to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Bahamas in general. In my view, there should be a separation. If you're going to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs, you need to be the Minister of Foreign Affairs. You can't be the chairman whilst you're in government, because it seems, again, as if your statements are only tailored towards the people who support your party. And that means then, therefore, those of us or those who do not support your party cannot look to you for any kind of help or any situation, because your focus is on your party. And that is where it's wrong. And that's why I'm saying, when you're having these types of scenarios transpire with people in government, we need to make sure that these things are not happening. The Bahamian people have to decide whether or not they want a higher level of service from the government that they elect. And when they are becoming the elected government, they become the government of all the people, not just the party that they supported. They now have to take those party caps off until election time comes around, and that is when you now talk about your party. But when you're in government, I expect you to perform as a government minister who represent the Bahamian people, not your party.
I mean, how do you click on? I think what Dr. Sands and the Free National Mess wants is
what?
The what? Free National Mess.
Oh boy.
Well, I couldn't wait to say that loud.
Because I really thought you slipped just now, but I remember you.
The Free National Mess wants.
Thank God that's not a party.
Everybody to conform to them. So, like I said on a TikTok video, so they have a path of least resistance. You can go after a young man for doing his job. I've never seen Latreille on a political beat. That doesn't mean it as it isn't happen or it hasn't happened, but I've never seen it, and I monitor politics because it's nothing else.
But I know you both do, and you both pay very close attention, and this is why I'm asking if I missed it. Have you all seen it?
No, but Shanique, I want you to give me a moment to look at Latreille's response, which I love.
You mean the one that's on the government,
yes,
on the office of the Prime Minister's letterhead? That should not have been on the office of the Prime Minister's letterhead. That was out of order. But that was out of order.
He said, "I've never abused my office.
That's abuse right there.
I've never been investigated by the police. I've never been accused of coaching a witness or I love the shadiness, or tampering with evidence. I've never been condemned by the court for unethical conduct. I've never given a government contract to a witness in a corruption case. I've never been fired by a sitting prime minister. I've never been forced to resign."
Well, that's a lot of PLP represented in that statement.
I love that response. And he say, can Dr. Sands say the same? Dr. Sands really think we forget him, you know. It's only been almost 4 years. We haven't forget the madness Dr. Sands did under the previous administration. And I said earlier, he that comes to equity must come with clean hands. Dr. Sands, politically, your hands are filthy. We have not forgotten that you broke the rules during COVID-19, that you gave Dr. Minnis the hardest time. And I remember, even as the FNM, I was campaigning. I said, either you resign or you are fired, until he had to make a decision. Dr. Sands made bad decisions. And of all these things about Dr. Sands, he still want to return to governance. And so how can a man that expects the forgiveness and the forgetfulness of a people call for the resignation of two men?
Well, do you all think that, because we know what season it is the silly season, as we call it here in the Bahamas, but the political season, right? Do you think, again, it's just par for the course, like what Dr. Sands did this afternoon or early this evening?
Dr. Sands must make sense. He's making sense.
There are fundamental questions and things that needs to be listened to when it came to what he stated. We can't ignore the realities of what was stated. We have ZNS as the national voice of the Bahamas.
It is,
right?
You know, Glenroy.
That's an issue.
Glenroy, wait a minute.
That's an issue.
Glenroy, if it were the first time in the history of ZNS wait a minute, in this instance, okay, the PLP is in power, that a PLP, somebody is sitting there and showing favoritism, and you all have both said you don't see that happening right now at ZNS. I'll tell you, when the FNM was in power, there were FNM ZNS employees who governed as they needed to govern. Notice the word govern.
And what I'm saying polite. Is there were people who just had bad, nasty attitudes.
I am not a proponent of either.
Their party was in power.
But at the same time,
but Glenroy, it is what happens at ZNS. It is what's going on.
But the reality is, we have never had a general manager of ZNS who wanted to be running in the political arena.
Johnson.
He resigned.
You don't know Kelsey.
He
but
resigned.
You don't have to resign
no,
until
he wasn't general manager at the time.
You hear that, Glenroy?
He was not general manager at the time, if I remember correctly.
Glenroy, have you heard that?
You don't have to resign.
If I have not heard that. No. Understand what I'm saying.
Wait a minute. No. Question. Did you hear that? Do you know what the law says?
No. I'm not talking about the law. I'm talking about the realities of how it looks.
No, Glenroy.
Perception is reality for a lot of people.
Glenroy, let's talk about how it looks. I'm going to ask you and Peggy, and both of you sat on the same side of the road at one point, but you all can clearly see that this is an equal discussion. Okay, then. Let's talk about perception. Let's talk about perception. Glenroy, I want you to answer first. Mm-hmm. Forget ZNS for a moment.
Right.
It is said that this show is a biased, unfair show. You have been with me for years. Peggy have been with me for years.
And at one point, they were saying all F&Ms because we were both on the same side.
Absolutely. What have I attempted since my days on The Conversation to now to do on every show?
Well, obviously, you're not in question. Your
yes,
approach to doing it has been balanced. But see, you're not in question.
No, say it, no,
but
say
understand
it again,
the point.
say it again, Glenroy.
But you're not in question. See, you haven't, I mean, I don't know what
Well, you
the
need
weights.
to call
I don't know if you got asked for the cabinet position down the line. I don't know if you're going to be running in Kalani or something that we don't know about. Well, what I'm saying is...
If they pay me a few $1 million, I will. Let it be known, I have no political aspirations.
But what we have seen, though, Shanique, is that there were a lot of voices at the time that were vociferous against the government. Very vociferous. And they stand firm. But guess what? Now, here's what happened. Majority of those voices ended up being employed by the government. Now everybody quiet, and there is hardly any voice out there saying what the government needs to do, yada, 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 yada. Everybody going quiet.
Whatever this administration decided to do if they offer you, if whomever it is.
I cannot be bought.
But the thing about it is, Shanique, the F&M, the Free National Mess wants the media.
Movement.
I can keep saying that. The Free National Mess wants the media to do their job. They're weak in holding the country, the government.
According to tonight, we're talking about the things that they presented.
The only thing I hear coming out of their camp is accountability, transparency.
And we are not facing any of that in the country.
Anything else, you talk about crime and mental health and abuse and all of that. That's
people suffering in this country.
But then you need to be the spokesperson. Fire Dr. Sands because they should
tomorrow
not
evening.
Again.
Tomorrow
Fire
evening.
Dr. Sands and you take it on. You do a better job.
Tomorrow evening, of course, you know the Free National Movement will roll out its latest tranche of candidates, and we will be talking about that. Joining me tomorrow evening on certainly at the top of tomorrow evening show is the Vice Chairman of the Free National Movement, Denari Roll. He will let us know exactly who these people are, what their worth is, obviously where they will be running, and then we will talk about exactly how they will size up to any incumbent or perhaps a newcomer. It's all happening tomorrow evening as the F&M rolls out its newest set of candidates. Denari Roll will be joining me. Yours is big enough, okay? You all can play. Listen, I think, of course, at the top of tonight's show, the president of the Bahamas Livery Drivers Union, Tori Austin, thank you so much for being here. And this, we even didn't get to the police. The police say, Lord, have trust in them. That's basically what they're saying. Anthony Cobb-Stroll say, you all trust us. We didn't get to that. I knew we weren't going to. But I think very much in this segment and the two segments, Peggy Candace and Glenroy Pratt, thank you both very much for being here this evening. I want to thank all of you this evening for tuning. Hey, guys, I thank you all for participating. You all fed me some information as well that I needed to know to add to this. Thank you. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a joy having you along. And let's hang out again tomorrow evening as we see who the F&M introduces as a part of its 2026 slate, election slate. And so we look forward for that. Until then, I'm Shanique Miller. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, make it a great evening.